the best way to get customers, in my opinion, is to attract them to yourself, not chase them. You don't have to chase them down and beat them over the head. But in fact, you speak in a way that they sit up and pay attention, because now you're speaking to them and they are attracted to you and they come to you to ask you how they can work with you. Doesn't that sound amazing? Hey, that's what we're going to dig into on today's podcast. So can't wait to see you on the other side. Hey friend, have you thought that, you either have started your own business or you want to have your own business, but then that question is, wow, wait, where do I get the customers from? Like, how do I know how to get the customers? If that's a concern for you, then the tips that I'm going to have for you is going to help you, because that was a concern of mine. Absolutely. When I first started business, I was just like, what if I can't get customers? What if nobody wants what I have? What if, right? Like all these things. And the reason that I thought about doing this topic on today's episode is because I was just listening to a story inside of our community about this man had listened. He'd listened to one lady. He'd listened to all of her. He'd been watching her for, I think, 3 or 4 months or something. 3 months, I think. He'd been listening to her and watching all of her content on TikTok, whatever. But he never felt, he was interested, but he never felt compelled to kind of jump in and take action. Then he heard another man inside of our community, and he was watching his content and was really liking what he had to say. But still, nothing moved him enough to take action until he heard this one guy, Tim's story about how he had been working in corporate for 25 years and had walked in one day and basically his job was terminated. Like his position, his role had been terminated. And they basically said, we have no need for you here because that role is gone. And so he was like, well, what do you mean? I have kids. I am like, he was in his 50s. He's like, what am I supposed to do now? Anyway, it was from that point on that this man, Tim, went and jumped in with digital marketing and, learned the skills and did the thing and is now making, 6 figures, whatever he's making. And it was that story that this other man had heard. And it was this other man that was telling the story on one of the calls today. And he said it was that story that absolutely resonated with him. And he knew that it was the right time. It was the right program. Everything was right for him. And so I was thinking about that and I'm like, yeah, we have to get so good at speaking, to our perfect customer. Anyway, so the whole point was that my perfect customer, my listener, you who's listening to this, might have that concern. Like, how do I find customers? What do I do? And so in today's episode, I really want to dig into a couple tips, 3 tips actually, of how to attract your perfect customer or any like potential customers. How do you begin to do that? What's that process look like? And it's not as hard as you think. However, it's simple, but it's not super easy, because I've heard in all the years that I've been in business, doing business, I've always heard this thing about your perfect customer, your avatar, your target market, like whatever, all of these things. And I have to admit, I struggled against this often, like many, many, many times I struggled against this, because here's the thing, your perfect customer may change over time as you learn and grow, and, as things might shift in your business or whatever, the person that you're talking to might change. But why is that important for starters? Why is it important to know who you're talking to? Because so many people say, no, my business is for everybody. Anyone could be my customer. And even though that may be true, that anyone could be your customer, depending on what kind of business you have, that could absolutely be true. But I want to get you to think about something here for a minute. Okay, I am a vegetarian. I hate the thought of meat. Nobody could convince me to eat meat, no matter how good it is. So imagine you have a steak owner, like a steak owner or a steak restaurant owner, and they have the best messaging. They have the best steaks. They have the best everything for meat lovers. If that guy were to talk to me, even though everything is perfect, he would never sell me because I have no desire to eat or to take what he has. But on the other hand, if, let's say, whatever, Joe Blow from down the street, he loves steak, but he wants a good steak, right? So when this restaurant owner now starts talking to him about his juicy big steak and like all the whatever you talk about with meat. See, I don't even know what you talk about with meat, but that guy, he's going to hear him. He's going to hear what he has to say. I'm not going to hear what he has to say. And on the other hand, if I was trying to tell this meat lover, how to make this amazing bean soup or like have a lentil dip or something, he's going to look at me like I've got 5 heads because he's going to be like, that is not at all what I want. And so even that's kind of a funny example. It's a very real example because you think about it. We are attracted to the people who are speaking the message that we want to hear, want to learn about. And so that's why it's important to know who your perfect customer is and to speak to that one person. So for instance, if you wanted to work with, let's say for instance, I do have another podcast. So this is a real story, but I have another podcast and it is for depression. It is helping busy moms with depression to kind of overcome and take back their life and get back into their happy place again, right? That is who I'm talking to. And so if I start all of a sudden, if I'm on that podcast where I give them natural tips for depression, to overcome depression and anxiety, and all of a sudden I start talking about racing cars, I'm going to lose them. They're going to be like, whoa, she's fallen off the wagon. She is out of here. Like whatever. And so it's so important that when we have a business and we're trying to attract people, because I don't know about you, but I would much rather attract people to me than have to chase them and beat them over the head to get them to buy what I want them to buy. I've tried that too. Actually, that really sucks. I don't like that. But I like being me. I like being me and truly speaking what's on my heart to speak to the person that I actually can help. And so it's really important to know who our avatar is, if that's what you want to call her. One of the ladies, I was in a mastermind not long ago, and one of the ladies said she always called her person, the one she talked to, her Lola. And I love that. I think that's such a cool name. So now she knows exactly who her Lola, her person is. And she knows her name. She knows if she's married or single. She knows how many kids she has, if she has any. She knows where she works, or if she has a business. She knows what her dreams are, her hopes are. She knows what keeps her up at night. She knows like all of these things. And that's really, really important to understand that stuff. So you might be asking, well, how in the world do I know that stuff if I just started a business or if I'm just thinking about starting a business? And this is kind of the thing that the mentor inside of our community, she talks about your avatar being that person that you could really cheer on, that person that you would be so excited to see a transformation in. And that person is typically a younger version of yourself because you know what that person needed to hear to make a decision to change something in their life, right? You know that person. You know her hopes, her dreams, her desires, all of those things. You know her. And if you know her back then you speak to, and that's my next point, is that you speak to those pain points or those dreams or those, you speak to that. You solve the problem for her because you know her, because she was you, right? And so that was the easiest way that I've heard about like how to kind of pick who your avatar is or who your perfect customer is this idea that it's someone that's 5 or 10 years younger than yourself. That's who you can start with, right? And that was a little bit weird for me when I started my depression podcast, because depression is not something that I myself have personally walked through, but yet I've coached many, many, many people on helping them to use natural remedies to get over depression. And so that one was kind of, I'm like, well, but it can't be me. But yet it was still the clients. It was still the clients that I talked to that still fit the same kind of mold, right? Because here's the thing, when I, or you, or anyone, when we are talking to someone, talking to them specifically, even if it's on social media or as I'm doing right now on a podcast, if I'm talking to you directly and I know that you want to start a business, but you're scared because you don't know how you're going to find clients, like that's something that's on your heart. And if I'm speaking to that, which I am, right? All of a sudden you're going to be paying attention. You're going to be like, oh, wow, hey, I needed to hear this today. And so that's what you can do in your business is you talk to that person, that particular person that you know you can help. And you help solve her or his problem, right? And now all of a sudden people are going to be attracted to that. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, this person knows me. This person truly, truly gets me. I need to find out how to work with them. I need to find out, how I can be more in communication with this person. Because you have to remember that connection equals currency. So when we can really connect with people, that's when they're going to like us, know us, and trust us. And then they're going to buy from us. We don't buy from people that we don't like, and we don't buy from people that we don't trust, and we definitely don't buy from people that we don't know. So we want to build that relationship, and that can be done in a way on any social media platform, on podcasting, any like YouTube, whatever, any kind of platform, or it can be done face to face. You can build that connection when you truly care about who they are, what their problems are, and you truly offer a solution that speaks to that pain point or that thing that you can help them with, right? So you want to speak to those few pain points or solutions in whatever content you put out. And that's how you attract people to you. Now, this can be fast, or it's fast if you get your messaging on point really quickly. It takes a little bit longer if you don't know exactly what your messaging is, or if you don't know exactly who you're talking to. It definitely takes longer to see that in action. And I've been there as well. I've definitely been there where I wasn't really sure. I've kind of, even if you go back to the beginning of this podcast, this is the third time that I've changed the name. And if you listen to my very first episodes, you will see that they're sort of scattered. They're sort of not necessarily on point because I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure who I wanted to talk to, who I should be talking to. Because a younger version of me would have been a single mom, would have been a mom that wanted to stay home with her kids, would have been, could have been all of those things. Could have been the woman that wants to leave a legacy, to make an impact, like that woman, all of those things. So I wasn't sure, right? Who do I want to talk to? And sometimes we don't get really clear on that right away. Sometimes we just have to jump in and we have to start speaking the message on whatever platform we choose to speak it on, until all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a second, that is really hitting home. I like that particular podcast episode. That one really nailed it. People really like that one. Or that YouTube video. Oh my goodness. All of a sudden that one got so many views. And that's how you start to fine tune. It's like, okay, wait, I have to do more of that. That's the one, right? That's the one that flowed really nice for me. That's the one that they really resonated with. And all of a sudden now you're seeing that beautiful meshing together of knowing your messaging and speaking to the right person, and that person, really resonating with what you're saying to them. So yeah, you want to just, don't be afraid to jump in. Don't be afraid to start a business because you don't know who your perfect customer is. You want to start, and you will evolve as you go. That's something that I'm learning over and over again. You just evolve as you go, and it's okay. It's perfect. Actually, it's perfect. And so sometimes that's why, in the beginning, business doesn't happen as quick as people want it to, is because we have to kind of grow and learn and show up in a way that is going to serve our people the best. And sometimes that means growth, which is okay. It's totally cool. So my last point is, so first you have to find out who your avatar is. Second, you want to talk to their pain points, find out, really do research. If you can do market research, like asking people questions, asking them, what they did before, what have they done that's worked for them, what have they done that hasn't worked for them, what are they afraid of, what kind of things did they search up, like all of these kinds of questions. You'll truly, truly get to know who you're talking to and all the things that you need to be able to really connect with them in your content. So find out who your avatar is, do some research, and then once you know who they are and what they struggle with, then you want to talk to that area, and you want to solve problems within your content, whatever content that is. Because I'm a big believer in attraction marketing and not spending a ton of money on ads. I did in the beginning, many years ago, I spent and lost quite a bit of money on ads, and I went, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I would rather, take it a little bit longer and make connections with people. So anyway, you can do it either way, whichever way you want. But if you're here on this podcast, you're probably going to be hearing more about attracting people through, content, social media content, or podcasts or videos or whatever. So once you hit those 3 points, once you know who you're talking to, once you talk to their pain points and solve their problems, you will have customers. Absolutely. Hands down. No question. You will have customers as long as you have a good product, I guess, right? Or a good service. So I pray that this blesses you, my friend. And here's something that I want to start is on January 2nd, it's a Thursday night. I want to start at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start having a weekly Zoom, because I don't really have a community, and it's hard to, a community that I'm building. I have a community that I'm in, but it's sometimes I want to hear what people have to say, and I want to find out what your questions are. So that's why I'm thinking about having these question and answer, just an hour, half an hour to an hour of a live Zoom. And so that way, I can truly connect with people, can hear your concerns, can hear what you would like me to, what kind of areas you'd like me to touch on the podcast. And so anyway, I'm going to have a landing page set up for that. I don't yet, because it just popped into my head today. So at the time of this recording, you can just email me at melanie@buildingimpactmakers.com and tell me that you want the Thursday night Zoom. And then I'll send that link out to you. And again, it may not, I don't think it'll be till after Christmas, just because everyone's mind's going to be scattered. That's why I'm not starting it till after. But I'm thinking the new year is a fantastic time to start, right? That's when people want to start businesses. That's when people want to make health choices. That's when people want to, hit their goals and resolutions and all that stuff. So again, if you want to jump on that Zoom with me and have some time to ask questions, or, just kind of talk about business or whatever you want to do, then email me, melanie@buildingimpactmakers.com, and I will send that link to you. Okay? Take care, my friend, and God bless. How much longer can you afford to wait before taking control of your time and finances? What would life look like with a passive income from an online business that you could build from anywhere? If you had the support and the resources to succeed, what kind of impact could you make for yourself and your family? On this podcast, you will find simple solutions to help you start and grow your own online business that will pay you daily, even when you are enjoying adventures with your loved ones. My mission is to equip you to be wealthy in both time and money, with digital marketing skills, tips to overcome adversity, and steps to living out your purpose. If you are ready to say yes to a more rewarding and fulfilling life where you are making a bigger impact and transforming people's lives, then you're going to love this podcast. Hey, my name is Melanie. I'm a wife, a mother, and a blessed believer. I tried over the years many different side hustles to try and make a passive income and to live this life of freedom that everybody talks about. But what I finally realized is that I needed a step-by-step plan to keep me focused and consistent. I needed to link arms with others who were doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm excited to get to share with you what I'm learning. If you are ready to finally find freedom and own your own online business that helps you to never miss another family fun adventure and to make an impact while sitting on the beach, then this podcast is for you. So strap on your hiking boots and let's climb this mountain together. thanks for listening. I pray that this episode blessed you. And if you do feel blessed, would you please share it with someone else who may need to hear this information? And also, if you could just take a couple of seconds and write a written review, I would absolutely appreciate it, because A, it lights me up, warms my heart to hear from you, but also it helps other people to find this podcast who may need this information. So I thank you, my friend. I'll be praying for you, and I look so forward to seeing you on the other side. Take care, and God bless.